Hi, I'm Mark Scherer. I'm the CEO and founder of Encompass Life and the host of the Encompassing Life Podcast. And today we have Brooke Nichol with Saving Face. I guess you could say she's a esthetician, but way more than that in Austin, Texas. And from what I hear, she has a beautiful, beautiful location in a 1910 farmhouse.
Yeah, colonial style home. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, in Austin, Texas.
yeah.
And she had become very successful. She started off as a very small business working with her brother up in her brother's office. Is that correct?
No, it was a carriage house behind another big colonial style home. And I was just a one-woman show for about 4 years.
Right.
Yes, and then we've kind of grown into a 28-woman show.
So you were in a one person
Yeah,
one person show for how
yeah,
long you said?
for about 4 years on my own, and then started just organically growing and building the
So what
community.
gave you the motivation to go from a one person show to going into bigger and better things?
Mm. Well, there was a lot of things that played into it. I think ultimately I had the space that I could grow into a two-person show. And so then I brought on my first injector and she joined us. And so I went from just an admin and myself and a medical assistant to another injector. And so then the four of us started and it just organically grew. So the motivation was the demand,
Hmm.
and I love the business side of it. So I'm a registered nurse and I started Saving Face as an injectable only boutique because I loved injections and I only wanted to do injections and I love the art of this in the beauty industry. And so it started out as that and then it just organically grew into, oh wait, lasers do play a role in this as well. So I
Hmm.
added lasers and then that kind of grew into, well, we do kind of, play with the skin. And so now I do derm. So we also, and then 2 years ago, we started our whole longevity side of the practice where now we do weight loss and a bunch of functional lab analysis, genetics, all kinds of fun things. So now we're kind of a one-stop shop for beauty from the inside out.
Right. Yeah, I remember, when things don't really, I think for things to grow organically, you got to be nurturing your business. You got to be nurturing your clients. You got to be performing above and beyond. So
Mhm.
it doesn't just happen like poof, I open this door and everything. People just start walking in. You have to have great service and great customer care for things to grow organically.
No, I thank you so much. And I think we poured back into our clients and it was a word of mouth situation. And it didn't hurt that my husband at the time was 40. And so he had a lot of his girlfriends who were just now getting into some injections. And so I moved here from California, originally from Mississippi, but I moved here. I was in LA for 10 years and I started training for the company Allergan, who sells Botox. And so as I was a trainer, and kind of an expert in this field, a lot of people I just grew their trust through his friend group. And
Hmm.
then also I partnered with a lot of estheticians in town who would feed me some business. So it was an intentional gap in my business model to not do skincare and to not do facials
Mm,
so that those women in town could send me their business without there being a competition.
awesome. And what does your husband do?
So Jason has a background in commercial construction and the HVAC side of things. And for the last 4 years, or yeah, a little less maybe, he has been running operations at Saving Face. So now he works with me.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And how's that working for you to be married and work together?
Well, it has its ups and its downs, right? There's no one else I trust more than my partner and my husband. And also, maybe we need a little bit of boundary around not talking work in the bedroom.
I have so many questions, but I will keep this
That
show
might be
Pete.
that might be a side conversation, but
Yeah,
no, it's
I can hear you. When you ask me if we get in too deep into something that you can have it edited, and I can think of a lot of questions that I would require to get edited out at this moment. So I'll keep those on the QT.
that's a great question, and it might be really great for our audience because I'm a really big fan about energy and masculine energies and feminine energy. And I think at work, we're all masculine energy. What do you think? What do I think? And what can we do to make it better? But at home, it takes a lot of effort for me to turn that switch off and come from a feminine approach to I feel, what do you think? And so as long as we keep that polarity at home and the
Hmm.
polarity in the bedroom, we're good.
Could you go more into the I feel, what do you think?
Yeah, so to keep like yin and yang, right? So if
Right.
you are yin, we really come from a place of feeling, right? So that's where I think the women's initiative was great, but they didn't teach the women to turn it off when they got home. And so a
Mm-hmm.
lot of times they can emasculate the man and then they take the romance out of the relationship. So if I come from I think, what do you think? I think, what do you think? We become very stagnant and then we're
Mm-hmm.
not growing romantically. So it takes a lot of effort for me to come home and to turn off the CEO founder role for Saving
Mm-hmm.
Faith. I mean, I'm not going to say it, but like, his boss, two, he's my husband who I want to lead me in my relationship
Mm-hmm.
at right? I want him to be the leader. And so I had come from a place of I feel, and I never ask Jason how he feels ever, unless he's sick, throwing up, or bleeding. So in those situations, I'll ask him how he feels, but otherwise, I always ask him what he thinks because it keeps him in the masculine.
Hmm. Great, great analogy there. Great information. So, you know what a man most wants from a woman?
Tell me.
So, so a man most wants to do is please a woman, and really powerful women get that. So you can this is a little keeper. Don't tell Jason all this stuff. That you know these secrets, okay?
Okay. All
All
right. All
right,
right.
all right. So if you say when you say, "Hey, Jason, I really would love when you do X, whatever this is," right? And he does it, and you go, "Jason, oh my gosh, you remembered what I asked you. Thank you so much for doing that." He'll, but you can only give a man one thing at a time because we get sidetracked if you say we go too many. It's like, oh my gosh, you can't ever please this chick. So one thing at a time, pat him on the head and train him. Any man,
Okay.
any man, any woman. If it's a FedEx guy comes in, hey, Mr. FedEx guy, please leave the package on the table next time. He does that. Oh my gosh, you remember to put the package on the table? Thank you so much. He'll walk out 6 inches taller than he came in.
I got it. I will do that. Thank you so
You're
much for the
welcome. You're
tip.
welcome.
That's
Yep.
that's good. You know what? Any tip can help. So
Yeah. And
yeah.
I work with women. They go, oh my God, I'm training my man. Oh, yes, you are, and we like it.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to. We're different beings. And so we think differently. We want different things. And so, and also too, they can't read our minds. So you have to tell them, Jason's
Hmm.
gotten really good. He knows like I like baths. He runs a bath for me. He knows when it's time for like my time in the bath. And sometimes he joins me.
Oh,
Those are great.
that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Brooke, what type of services we're way into in the relationships here, but this is fun. What type of services do you offer?
Oh,
Just
we do a lot of regenerative aesthetics and longevity services. So when I talk about regenerative aesthetics, we really use a lot of biostimulators and a lot of biologics to help your body create its own collagen and its own tissue. So kind of staying away from an overfilled synthetic look. And then with longevity, that umbrella is we do peptide programs, a lot of weight loss. We
mhm.
also do hormones, bioidentical hormone replacement therapy, which is a game changer for any
Mhm.
woman coming into perimenopause or menopause. We do hair rejuvenation, we do vaginal rejuvenation, and we do a little
Wait a
thyroid.
minute, one more time. You do hair and vaginal.
Yeah,
Tell me
keep
about
that
that.
separate. Keep that separate,
Yeah,
right? We
yeah,
want to grow
right.
hair.
Because
We're all
most people are taking it off of there. So,
That's right. We do that too. We do some laser hair removal. So hair rejuvenation, we do a lot of exosomes, and exosomes are byproducts of stem cells that help the hair regenerate more growth. And so we do that. We combine it with red light therapy, and sometimes we write a protocol for a prescription if that's necessary. But we do see really, really good results with some hair exosomes doing
are you
injectable.
talking about for women or for men too?
Both, both,
Really? And it works.
and
So
it
there,
works.
so there's hope.
There, come see me, baby. There's hope.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a really incredible product. And then we also use that in the face as well to just help regenerate skin and keep people looking natural. And then we also do personalized genetics, and that's really cool to be able to see what you are double mutated for. It's kind of like a user's guide to your own body. So like you get the cheat sheet to say, when should you sleep? How many hours a night should you sleep? How do you process caffeine? When should you stop drinking caffeine during the day in order to get your optimal sleep? What
Hmm.
micronutrients are you short of, or what macronutrients? So it's really a really cool program that we have through genetics. And then we also do functional lab analysis because we want to get to the root of what your issue might be, but really just to help you live optimally and to live better.
Well, you're tracking a lot more things than other companies are doing. From what I've interviewed a lot of people on our show, and you have a particular niche of a way you're gathering information and doing research on the individual. Really cool.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Welcome. You're welcome. And you said also, you said hair and what's the other piece about?
Oh, the vaginal rejuvenation.
Mm. I gotta hear about this.
So, vaginal rejuvenation is pretty empowering as well because let's just face it, even if you haven't had vaginal birth, as we age, there's a lot of tone and there's a lot of pH changes within a woman, especially when they're entering into perimenopause or menopause. And so we use a CO2 laser device that actually helps with the pH balance of the cervix and helps kind of tone as far as like if there's some bladder issues or things like that. You do about 3 treatments of those, and it really, really helps change a woman's life. And then you can also treat the external part of the vagina and can give it a little bit better appearance. It can help with tone, which is just the discoloration that can happen over time. So it is a pretty incredible offering, as well as we're going to be doing some injections for the O shot. So it's kind of your pleasure pathways. We can inject those for them to have heightened senses and be able to have orgasms more easily.
Dang. This is, this is the first I've heard of this too. Maybe everybody else was afraid to talk about it, but this is interesting. So,
Yeah, yeah.
so I guess their partner notices a difference as well.
Yes. Oh my God. Well, this half the time the men will say it actually feels like a different woman. So after a series of there, it can tone so much. And it's a holistic approach in which your body is actually helping to regenerate tissues because it's really just these micro channels of burns inside the cervix, and it's not painful. People think that sounds painful, but it's not. But and then the healing tissue around it like heals and tightens. And so yes, it's really great for the man involved when you do vaginal rejuvenation. They can really feel a difference.
They're still saying that we're going to burn you, but it doesn't hurt. So there's
Yeah, yeah.
so
Something
there's no.
about that vaginal lining, the vaginal, so it will on the external, it gets a little hot. Okay. I can witness to that.
What
But
do you mean?
well, the external part, when you're doing a laser on the skin, you will feel the heat. But
Okay.
internally,
Inside, no.
no.
This is wild. I mean, this is the first time I got on this. I've done a lot of shows with female products and all kind
Yeah.
of things about periods and everything as well. So this this is a first. So I'm having a blast. This is
Do you
interesting.
have a wife? Are you married?
No, I do
You have
have
a partner?
I do. Yes, I do.
Tell them to come on to Saving Face. Well, you can test it out.
It's a long drive from Florida, but we'll actually be in Texas March.
Yeah, you're coming to Katie. So this is
Yes,
just
yes, ma'am, we
this is a
are.
hop
Yes,
skip.
yeah, it is awesome. Very interesting. Very interesting. I can feel my face getting. It's like the laser's working over here because my face is getting warm.
You know, a little pink.
Yes, it is. Whew. Anyway, um, so when somebody comes into your office, is there a like, hey, here's a get to know you, here's try a few services. Like, how do you greet a new patient coming in or a new client coming in? I guess more appropriate.
Well, we do have an incredible website that has everything that we offer and like all the different services. So a lot of times people will know kind of what they're coming in for, and we can direct them into that that particular specific provider. Now, if you just don't know where to start and this is your first time, but you know you want to do something, we have a specific team member who does comprehensive consultations. And so she'll actually sit down, take 30 minutes or more with that patient and go through what their concerns are, what's going on, and then help them come up with their own personalized treatment plan as to where to start and how we can best serve them.
Gotcha. And do like husbands give this gift certificates to their wives
Yeah,
and yeah.
yeah, absolutely. It's
I
a
would
really
think
big
this would
hit.
be I would think
Yeah,
if you pulled all this stuff off, that would be really, hey honey, not
yeah,
saying anything, but saying
yeah,
something.
yeah. Well, listen, I mean, I think everybody would prefer Botox over chocolate.
Right. Really? No.
I do. Yeah. For women, come on.
Come on. Gotcha. Speak- Michelle just stuck her head in the door. What are you doing in here? Anyway,
She heard Botox.
she heard Botox. No, Michelle, but Botox over chocolate? Chocolate. Gotcha. Thank you. She's like no chemicals in her body, but she'll take the chocolate.
Oh, come on. It's cleaner than Diet Coke. It's a purified protein. At this point, you're breathing more chemicals than Botox.
Gotcha. Anyway, and so you have and where are you located? You're in Westlake or where?
Oh, I am in, hang on, we lost my light. I think it's under here. I am in downtown Austin, and we also have a location in the Hill Country. So we are, let me hang on, let me get this. Let's see. Are we? You want to ask me? So we are downtown. We actually have three locations currently. We have one on 14th Street between San Antonio and Guadalupe, so very near UT campus. And then we also have our wellness location just around the corner at 12th and Rio Grande. We also are in Lakeway. We call it our Hill Country location inside Alive and Well, which is a really amazing clinic out there for internal wellness. Oh, wait, I lost your volume. Mark, I
Pardon. There
can't
we
hear
go.
you.
There we go.
There you go. Okay,
And
perfect.
we're so you're working with people like to help balance their hormones and everything as well. Is that
Yes,
something? Yeah.
yes, that is a big part of it. Oh my gosh, wow, how did that come through? I'll turn this off. Yes, we
Yeah. So you're working with balancing people's hormones too. So with now notice I'm working a lot with the person on the inside. Like what's going with their feelings, what's going with their head chatter. And at some point in time, when people start to feel better inside their emotional body, they work with like they're like, okay, I'm gonna start working out too. I'm gonna start to take care of my body more. I'm gonna like to have that external match the internal. Or sometimes people will work on that external, and then like I feel great, I look great on the outside, but the inside I'm still like, oh crap.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
but you're working at in both ways at the same time. A little different than the way I do it, but you're still putting it together.
Yes, absolutely. We are working on the outside and the inside, and hormones are everything. Like they are our
Hmm.
little messengers inside of our body, and if they are wacky or off, like you can have panic attacks, you can have mood swings, you can have no libido, you can have hair loss, you can have, weight gain. So the hormones control, really, they're just the messenger centers in our body.
Hmm.
And so when we do bioidentical hormone, we are blood testing everyone. We're doing it safe. We don't use any synthetic hormones, and they are a game changer. Like I suffered from long haul COVID. It put me into perimenopause pretty early, and then I started doing testosterone pellets about 2 years ago, and it changed my life. I felt like I was Brooke before I had gotten sick. I felt like my brain fog was back. I got to grow my hair
Hmm.
back after losing my hair. My libido came back, all of the things, energy. So
Hmm.
for me, hormones have a really important role. And what
Hmm.
happened, a lot of gynecologists don't have time to manage women's hormones. And so they don't. And so they might say, oh, you're totally fine and you're normal, you're within this normal range, but you could be trending really low or almost really, flat before
Hmm.
they even wanted to manage it or prescribe anything. So we do take the time. We have two really amazing nurse practitioners who will manage their hormones. One kind of goes more of a pellet route, the other one a little more holistic as far as topicals, troches, creams, diet, nutrition to help you balance your hormones. But
And are
very,
you
very important.
are you
And for
using
men, too.
Yeah. Are you using synthetic, or you said everything you use is natural? Is that correct?
No, right now we just do the bioidentical hormones, but I do know that there are still a lot of practices who do use synthetic hormones and they seem to use them safely and they can be very effective.
Mm,
But currently we just do the BHRT.
gotcha. Awesome. So for people to schedule an appointment with you, what's the best way to do that?
You can go online to schedule an appointment. We have all of the offerings, all of the different times, consultations, anything you need. So just to go to savingfaceaustin.com and booking, and then you can book right there. If you have any questions or anything, our girl Addie is amazing, and you can call the number and she can help direct you. But it's pretty self-explanatory, and you can book online.
Awesome. And sometimes you can get a gift certificate for your wife.
Yes,
Yeah. I mean,
yes.
that's
Mother's
really
Day is coming up. It's a great
Mother's Day is
opportunity.
coming up. No,
We
Valentine's
just
Day. We just had Valentine's Day. I
had
remember now.
Valentine's, but every
Yep.
day is Valentine's, right?
Every day is Valentine's. Yep. I have one question I'd like to exit the interview with. And
Okay.
that question is, what do you love about life?
So much. Um, mm, that's such a good question.
I get paid to ask good questions.
Yeah, that's such a good question. I'm a pretty spiritual person, so I love finding the spiritual meaning in the little moments. And um, I think that's it because I don't believe in coincidences. And I believe that I have a really big spirit team behind me that shows me the way and guides and moves obstacles for me. And so I think for me, I love that about this life is being connected to a bigger source, a greater source.
I saw a friend of mine sent me a video, and it says the greatest feelings we can have as humans. That sex was an 8 out of 10, psychedelics was a 9 out of 10. And it says the only thing that was a 10 out of 10 was the conscious use of our co-creative gift. So
Mm,
really mastering how this wonderful gift of co-creation works.
yep.
And it's almost like being in wonderment or amazement with the unfolding of the journey and the growth and competency and trust with source or trust with God.
So good. That's
Mm,
exactly, that's beautiful.
yeah.
Well said. Well
Thank you.
said.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And Brooke, thank you so much for being on the show and continued
Yeah.
success to you and your business. And I hope you make a lot of husbands really happy.
Me too. Me too. Thanks, Mark.
You're welcome. Thank you.